the fucking Blitz, son. Out here. All right. Shit is hella dark over here. In Andy's side of the world.
He's running at midnight.
He ain't paid the light bill out there. Damn it, boy. There he is. Ooh, stud. With the matching hoodie with a fucking hooey hat. My man out here with the shit. Episode 75 of Backyard Blitz brought to you by Backyard Sports. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Whenever the fuck you're watching this shit. We're glad you're here. Gary Freeze. Guys, it's been a while. It's been a while.
Yeah, we out here.
Like it.
We're hanging in there.
Fucking with the vibes. What are you guys drinking tonight? Because I'm actually trying something different, which is rare.
I'm in my comfort zone. I got a bunch of Stone IPA variety.
Yeah, sounds sad. What do you got?
They got a little Southern Tier IPA variety.
Local shit.
Interesting.
I guess some Miller Lite too.
There you go.
I got the Gang cup out this time though. I haven't had this on a show in a little while.
There you go. I've got that sitting on my desk right now.
What do you drink?
Ranch water. Trying it out. They make like a
gross.
Now, first of all, ranch water in and of itself is really good. It's just Topo Chico lime and tequila is all it actually is. But they've got they got like a little canned fucking seltzer version of it. Anyway, it's not bad. Never tried a seltzer, but it's not bad.
I'll bet you a drink like that makes an all right seltzer though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can see tequila being mixed with something bubbly.
Exactly. Vodka soda type shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Especially like a clear tequila would go pretty good with something bubbly.
The new trend is I see this shit where they take a Corona, you drink it down to the top of the label, and you put tequila in it.
Ooh.
And then the orange juice and the
Does that go
grenadine.
good with Corona though?
Listen, Jen was drinking them. I liked it. I don't drink shit. I don't like that stuff. So I don't fuck with orange juice. So
I don't believe in Corona.
I like Corona. I mean, it tasted good. I took a sip of it, but I tried to just mix the tequila in with the Corona because I didn't want the juice. Because fuck juice. I'm not 7.
That's so aggressive about like something simple like juice.
Fuck juice.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like,
what am I, a kid? So it wasn't good though. Like it just made the Corona taste like tequila, and that rock tequila can go very dominant fuck flavor. Itself. It's not that good. It's okay.
You don't like it?
I mean, for the money, listen.
You said it was like mid-30s, right?
For the money, yeah. I mean, it's no better than like Gold Jose.
Whoa,
No, it's not as good as
Gold Jose.
Yeah.
You're just saying regular ass Cuervo.
Yeah.
Wow.
In my opinion, in my humblest of opinion.
Big name with a mainstream quality. Some
like,
Dollar
it's
General
weird
vibes.
Sometimes when celebrities endorse like
it's an odd fucking color though too.
Oh,
like,
proper 12. Connor backed out of that.
Like that was I was surprised by how good it was.
I don't like Irish whiskey, but if I'm gonna pay for Irish whiskey, I'm gonna buy that over like Jameson.
Yeah,
because it's cheaper.
Connor doesn't like
I think it's better than Jameson.
The business side of it. Clearly,
I thought it was smoother. But remember we used to fucking listen to Ron White all the time.
Yeah.
So he ended up endorsing a Scotch. It was called like Black Dog or something like that, Scotch, and it was fucking atrocious. It was like bottom shelf, fucking Scotch. Like the bartender scooped up what Scotch was left that got mixed with like the dirty bar water and shit. It was not good.
The fucking early times.
Yeah. That's the way it goes, man. And now he's into tequila. He has his own tequila line.
I hear his tequila is really good, but
maybe I'm a little harsh on the tequila. Listen, man, I pretty much drink. If I drink tequila, I pretty much drink Patron. I know how it sounds. Patron. He's probably got a fucking Yeti. Back off me. It's Patron. Patron's smooth, man. It's good.
Patron's good.
And listen, I like Don.
I got a bottle of it right up there.
I prefer Don Julio over Patron personally. But usually I get Patron. The Jose Silver is fine too. But listen,
I almost tried 1800. I
used to like Jose Gold when I was like 22.
Yeah, that was the move.
And that was and maybe I'd have to have the Jose Gold next to this shit by the Rock. I don't even remember what it's called.
I feel like you're being disrespectful about it. Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
it looks.
I think you need to have a shot of Jose Gold to understand how fucking rude that was.
That's like doing Johnny Red Label.
I'm going to tell you the color of it kind of turns me off. First of all, because tequila's either gold.
I thought it was just the picture. It really is like a weird color.
Yeah, tequila's either gold or clear. And this kind of looks dirty.
Yeah.
Like
I just thought it was the picture. If you did look very pale.
If you took gold Jose and Patron Silver and mixed them together, that's the color you would get. It's like it looks like dingy water, which is a little fucking off-putting.
No, I'm all set there.
Now the Rock says he drinks that shit on the rocks, which I don't know what kind of psychopath drinks tequila on the rocks.
I'll drink clear tequila on the rocks. I drink Patron on the rocks. It's good,
just
man.
Drink a shot. Like I don't know.
I'll sip on some fucking clear tequila.
I've never sipped on tequila. It seems like a shot liquor to me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Correct.
Maybe I've been living my life
Nope,
wrong. Raul,
not
maybe
wrong.
we're fucked. No, you tried it that way?
100% agreed. It is you don't fucking sip tequila.
Well, somebody better tell Dwayne that.
I guess.
Most people don't.
like it, man. I like
Look,
it.
I know people that love it. I just like for me, it's just I'm good. I don't want that kind of relationship with a fucking tequila.
Well, it's like vodka or rum. Like I wouldn't sip vodka, rum,
I don't know
or
that
gin.
I can sip vodka.
I don't know.
I can sip.
I don't shoot vodka.
I won't.
I don't.
Well, I don't drink vodka. So
yeah,
I won't.
If it's mixed in something, that's whatever. But like, I don't touch vodka aside from that.
Yeah, I don't.
It's just too. Yeah,
it's always done. Bottom shelf vodka, single filtered, shot chased by orange juice.
Plastic handle.
Vodka reminds me of a lot of underage nights, Gary. You know, with $12 handles.
Yo, little microwave. If big stove's available, we will certainly welcome the showstopper.
Oh, did she tune in and be
She's
like,
in the comments? Yeah, y'all need the big stove to jump on. If he's available, fuck yeah.
There's a difference between a need and a want.
Yeah, we want him.
We would love for him to be here. Do we need? No, man. Like I need beer.
If he's busy with his old lady.
Hey.
Have fun with date night.
So speaking of things and things that are busy.
She sounds like he's inbound though.
Basketball's fucking busy. NBA's halfway through the season. The Grizzlies may be in a unique position as far as how they're treated in the eyes of the refs, but some might say there's all kinds of shit to unpack tonight.
The
Jazz. Sorry, Grizzlies. Jesus. My bad.
Oh, it's not good.
Jazz.
Although they may feel the same.
Saw the jersey.
Grizzlies might feel the same fucking way.
Yeah, let's go back and talk to Randolph and see what he thinks. I'm sure he'd have some.
Talk to Ja. See how he's feeling about him.
Dude, Ja, man. All right, so talking contenders and pretenders in each conference. I like that. It's a unique way to place that. I like that. I dig that. So, Andy, let's go straight into you. Contenders, pretender. Let's just go there. I mean, just fucking rip the Band-Aid off.
Tough, man. Like, it's tough because of the West. The Western Conference makes this such a goddamn difficult way to say or way to break this down. Obviously, I'll take the cop out here, and I'll start with the East. Not a full cop out because I'll give you everything I got here, but the East, I don't think we're going to get a lot of pushback here on contenders in the East. I think the contenders are going to be the Sixers. I'm going to give it to the Nets now. We knew we were going to get here at some point. And listen, I still question them in a 7-game series. It just comes down to where do I question them now? So I think you can be a contender, but still, not be able to win the East. And then obviously the Bucks. I don't put anybody else into that. I don't even think there's a pretender in the East. Like I don't have one single pretender because I think the 3 teams that stand out are contenders and everybody else. I mean, I guess the only one you could really possibly mention is the Heat because of them making the finals last year. But at this point, they're not even in a position to be a pretender, are they? I mean,
I think you're right. They have to. I mean, you got to think of somebody who's in the top 3 to 4 in the standings that probably doesn't have a chance, right? I mean, I think we can all agree that that's what a pretender would be, right?
Well, or somebody over 500. I mean,
or
Christ.
over 500, yeah.
I mean, they sit at 18-18 right now.
Last year was a bit of an anomaly. We talked about it too, right? They were a bubble team.
Right. I caught a lot of heat for that. No pun.
I was actually going to point that out. I was like, I know Andy caught a lot of shit for saying they were a bubble team. I went on the offensive when you said that, and
right.
You're right.
And let me
you're
skip.
Right.
I'll skip right to another bubble team in the West right now because I'm gonna. So there's I have 3 contenders. I'm gonna say 1 pretender, even though I don't even know if I believe that they're enough to be a pretender.
So you got 76ers, you got Nets, and who? I missed your third.
The Bucks.
I apologize.
The Bucks.
Okay.
The Bucks. So out west, it gets a little more expansive. I'm going to start actually with a pretender, and I think that's going to be another team that I think is a bubble team. That's the Nuggets. We saw a shitload from Jamal Murray, who I'm a Jamal Murray stan. I love Jamal Murray, but he's a shooter, shot real well in the bubble. Talked about it with the Heat, Hero, Duncan, guys like that. So I think that, while they're sitting in 6th place, they are 6 games over 500. I think they're a pretender. I think I shouldn't even have to say this at this point. The Portland Trailblazers are pretenders as fucking always. Dame, give me a reason, man. I need a reason to toe your line in the postseason, and you're just not giving it to me. And I'm going to go one more. I think it's a fucking Jazz. I think the Jazz are pretenders. I do.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'd love to hear your reasoning.
It is. And I'm going to give you my reasoning because I just don't think they have the star power to get it done. Actually, I think it might not have been the last time we were on because it's been a while, but it was either the last time or the time before when I shouted from the rooftop that Donovan Mitchell
was becoming that
guy. He is a guy. He is that guy. However, between now and then, not that he's playing bad or playing poorly or anything. That was he was listening, I feel like. So I was telling him hey, elevate. And, not say anything against the guy. I don't think, I don't see it, man. I don't see the star power. With the Lakers, obviously, who I'm going to call a contender, you have LeBron and presumably Anthony Davis. Obviously, that's up in the air right now, and that would make a big difference, his status for the season. Then you have the other LA team, the Clippers. You have Paul George. You have Kawhi Leonard. And my third contender is going to be the Phoenix Suns, because I think Devin Booker him and Donovan Mitchell are kind of very similar players as in places in their career to me. And Booker's taken that big step partially because of Chris Paul, but they have Ayton. I mean, that team is just Dario Saric. They have a lot of pieces. And to me, Chris Paul's still one of the premier players in the NBA. So that's my contenders: the Suns, the Lakers, the Clippers. I got a kid sneaking through. It's the second time. We'll probably have a third one drop through. Both LA teams in the Suns. And then I have to go with the Nuggets, the Trailblazers, and fucking reluctantly the Jazz. I don't want to do this. I want to be on because I like the way the Jazz play basketball. I like the way they win games. I like the defense. I love Rudy Gobert. I remember in a mock draft years ago when I had the Sports Kings website, I tried to give Rudy Gobert to the Knicks. Knicks fans fucking hated me. We don't want this French guy. Awesome fucking player, great player, one of the best centers in the league. Has been. That's
why the Knicks continue to suck.
Right. Since then, and I didn't even know he was going to be that good when I did that mock draft. But I for whatever reason, there's a fucking red flag going off to me about that team, and I think we'll talk some more about that at some point here. But yeah, that's me. Sorry. long-winded. I had to fill in for Stove.
You're good, man. I feel like Ja is probably my favorite young player out right now. Like I love Luka, don't get me wrong, but Ja is fucking like his style, his court vision, his aggression. Like, dude, he's fucking insane. His ability to do what he does on a very regular basis is pretty impressive. So, Gary, I want to go to yours. Who do you? I'm curious to see who your pretenders are. That's who I want to see.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of disagreement with Flint in the East.
Right.
For a while there, I thought the Bucks were going to be. I picked the Bucks a while back when we were talking about it as like the team that was going to keep LA from repeating, right? And got a lot of kind of cross looks, and probably for the right reasons because they've fucking fallen flat in the playoffs every year. But over the last probably 2 weeks, they've kind of turned into what I thought was kind of a pretender, but I don't know that I can necessarily put them in that basket because they've still got the ability to compete in the East against the best teams in the East. So I'm going to continue to put them. They're a fringe contender, if that's a thing, right? And then you've got the Sixers and the Nets. I think are right now the way the Nets are playing right now. As the season progresses, they're kind of head and shoulders, right, with the 76ers. My only pretender in the East is Boston, and I don't know that even qualifies because I don't know how many people think that they're a championship contender necessarily, but they're in fourth place. They're a couple games over 500, so I don't think Boston. They may host, a first round playoff series, but I'm gonna say it, and it might not be a very popular opinion. I don't know that Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are players that Boston should consider centerpieces anymore. I think if they had an opportunity to move on from one or the other and get some capital to build some pieces, I don't know what they get for it. I just look at that team. They've underachieved like the last couple of years. And I think it's because they're reliant upon two players that are very similar on one end of the floor and very, very different on the other end. Like Jason Tatum doesn't give that team very much on the defensive end of the floor. Jaylen Brown's a great defender, but I don't know that they mesh very well because they're the same player on the offensive end. You can't make up for like the deficiency on the defensive end if you're Jason Tatum by being another wing guy, right? Or even if you're considering Jaylen Brown the other wing guy, like they're just too similar on the offensive end, and they don't do enough to make up for what Jason Tatum causes them on the defense. And they don't have a stopper in the middle to make up for that either. So I'm calling Boston pretenders only because of where they sit in the standings. And I kind of wanted to take a shot at like what they have right now, because I think we spent a lot of years talking about how Boston fleeced the Nets and fleeced the Sixers and that sort of thing. And they didn't really do much with it. So I think right now is when, they're reaping what they sow because they didn't do much with those draft picks. So I'm pretty much in lockstep with Flint in the East. The West is where I think we're going to differ a little bit. I've got contenders, LA, Lakers. I've got Utah actually as a contender. I think right now we're seeing a little bit of a lull for them because I think they're letting some of that perception of what we're going to talk about later get into their heads, and it's affecting the way they're playing right now. So I think they're going to eventually snap out of that. The All-Star break probably came at the right time for them. I think we're going to see them turn it back on after the All-Star break. I think that's what we're going to see. Good break for them. Let them cool off with this craziness that's been going on with the media and just, talking about officiating and stuff. And in Phoenix, I definitely have Phoenix as a contender because, as Flint said, CP3 continues to be an elite guy. And I think that he was the best thing that's ever happened to Devin Booker. Like, legitimately, him coming in with that hard-nosed leadership, wanting to mentor young guys, allowing Booker to just be himself off the ball, too. I don't think that we can put enough value on that for Devin Booker because of the way that he can complement what CP3 does. The pick and roll with Ayton, the Suns, you know, the other teams in the West better fucking take note. I'm on the fence with the Clippers, and I think I'm inclined to go pretender with them because of some of the things I saw the other night against the Wizards. They don't seem to have, and if they turn it on in the playoffs, maybe, but they just don't seem to have the same thing we see from some of these other elite teams, that killer instinct or whatever you want to call it. They just don't seem to have it. And I think we saw that last year in the playoffs. And I think we're continuing to see that play out. And maybe it's a Paul George thing, right? I hate to say it and pin it on one player, but we've seen Kawhi win championships in San Antonio and Toronto. And we're seeing Paul George constantly be on an underachieving team since his injury, really, because he was carrying Indiana before his injury to some pretty big heights. Him and Hibbert were a big-time duo. But I'm going to lump the Clippers into the pretender because I don't think they have what it takes to win the West. And where the hype that surrounds that team, to me, means that they should be talked about in terms of a Western Conference title, and I don't see it. They just don't seem to have it for me. But I disagree with Flynn about Utah, but I definitely understand the concern, right? Maybe they don't have the star power. I just think that they let a couple of things get in their way over the last week, and we've seen them kind of be weak mentally. I think the All-Star break came at the right time for them.
I'm kind of curious about what happens. I mean, if this season turns out to just expose that the Clippers are pretenders, how much of this is going to go to Pandemic Paul? And what is his stock?
All of it.
And what does his stock look like looking at his next contract? No, I agree. That's not my point. My point is what happens to Paul his next go around for a contract at this point. I mean, stocks plummeting.
He just signed an extension right now, right? So they may be stuck with him for a while.
Yeah.
I have to look it up right now because I believe he just.
But I mean, what a flub! What an absolute.
They've got
flub.
At least this year and 3 more, right?
Ugh, that's a tough.
So it's going to be tough, and I think he's going to. If they fail, I think he's going to take a lot of flack because nobody's going to put it on Kawhi, right? We've seen him carry Toronto for all of everything we talked about with Golden State having KD hurt and Clay hurt and whatnot. Like Kawhi brought a championship to the North, right?
Right.
And won in San Antonio. So we've seen him do it. Nobody's going to say Kawhi's the problem.
All right. So listen, Kawhi's hard to not like unless you're a Spurs fan. Am I right, Raul? And even a lot of Spurs fans are apologists too.
I don't fucking understand why Spurs fans hate Kawhi. Like, I get it, but I don't know, man. I mean, I get the feeling of betrayal.
It's because he acted like a fucking pansy in San Antonio and forced his way out.
Yeah, but like, when is he, aside from being on the court as an athlete, outside of regulation, when have you seen him act like he has a spine ever? I mean, you had to know that if there's any kind of exit we were going to see of Kawhi Leonard from San Antonio, it was going to be quiet and awkward.
Listen, I think Kawhi Leonard is a weird, fucking goofy, awkward, he's a goddamn alien fucking dude.
Dude, like, there is a video of him. Like, have you seen? There's a video of him like in a strip club, and he's
right. Yeah,
it's like, can you imagine somebody? Can you imagine the Ben Stein of the NBA? Just like
I don't
here, like making it rain.
No, I don't think that's him though. Here, okay.
No, that's him, dude.
I have this weird Kawhi Leonard thing. Okay, do you remember after Toronto?
Put our tinfoil hats on.
Toronto wins the championship, right? And Kawhi's in the limo. What it do, baby? Dude, to me, that's the real Kawhi Leonard, though. Like, he's a fucking wolf in sheep's clothing. This guy. He pretends to be like some fucking awkward dude.
He's real goddamn good at it. If he's putting on a show,
I think it is, dude. Listen,
good at it.
tinfoil hat. I'll die on this fucking island. I think that because so he leaves the Spurs, which is like the most functional organization in sports, right? He's the only person in the last decade and a half to have weird issues in San Antonio. That's A for me. Okay. So B,
True.
He ends up in Toronto in a place where he should have never fucking left. There was no good reason to not stay in Toronto, especially after you win a championship, albeit the Warriors being shorthanded or fucking not. I don't care. There was no reason to leave that team. And then he does. And he goes to one of the biggest laughingstock organizations in pro sports. Don't care who owns them now. I don't give a shit. And then of all people,
he brings
in Paul George.
Yeah. He recruits him, gets him to LA.
Bro. This should be a slander-free zone for Paul George because I like Paul George. But Christ, it doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. The last 4 years of Kawhi Leonard does not make sense. And he's an idiot savant. Like he puts on this like he's dumber than shit. Matches fell on the floor and he can count every fucking one of them.
Yeah.
But this dude is fucking low key, like in the strip club, smacking fucking ass and just knowing what the fuck he's doing, but acting like he has no idea. Yeah. Also, did you see his fucking his latest fit straight from the Tim Duncan collection of the fucking worst jeans I've ever seen a player wear in my life?
No.
Oh my god,
skinny
dude.
Jeans on?
No. They were like Janko fucking skater jeans from the 90s.
He had the elephant hoof.
Bro, think of anything.
I need
that, like,
my
Tim
wallet.
Duncan,
Let me reach down to my calf.
Yeah, think of anything that Tim Duncan or Michael Jordan has worn jean-wise in the last 15 years.
Yeah,
that's Kawhi. Like this dude, man. But I think he knows what he's doing. I don't think he's a fucking dumbass.
You think he chooses to just like portray that he has the personality of a fucking tree stump?
Yeah. He has the personality of a fucking goldfish with one eye. Like, but he doesn't. It's a fucking facade.
It's so specific.
Calvin makes a good point, though. Stars do this stuff. They force their way out of town.
Right.
When they have star power to do it.
I had a goldfish with one eye one time, and he was fucking dull.
That's so...
Just ran into the side of the bowl all day.
His depth perception was off.
It was
he had
just
one fucking eye.
Yeah.
You ever close your eye and try to walk anywhere?
That's right, dude. Because
I didn't tell him to have one eye.
He's trying to leave New York because he's trying to get to Toronto and then eventually make his way to the second best team in LA.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard, man, is a weird dude, but
yeah,
but purposely weird.
He's a straight. Yeah. Okay. So you think it's all by design, man?
I
okay.
Do, man.
I mean, you're wrong, but I fuck with it.
That beard is wrong, but I fuck with it.
Yeah, I'm glad you fuck with it, man. I don't, but I just, I choose to love myself.
Listen, Mrs. Herrera fucks with it.
Maybe
he does. She must.
Yeah,
or she gives him a hard time every day, and he don't give a fuck.
No.
Yeah. Anyways, so on to Cap Facts.
Let's talk about Blake Griffin. I know it was a late submission, but let's talk about Blake Griffin real quick.
Oh yeah, let's get that. Facts. We got to get that.
Okay, so the Pistons have bought out Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Best destination. Okay, let's go ahead and just hot button this shit now. If you're watching right now, throw us in the comments what you're thinking. I think we got. Looks like we're looking at 4. Yes, let us know. Where is he going? So, Andy, let's go back to you. Let's start there.
I'm not going to go with where he's going as much as where Houston. I think he's going, where I want him, where he should go. Where he should go is the Bay Area, and he should play under Steve Kerr. He should play with Steph Curry. That's the fit. I don't give a fuck with anybody, so you cannot change my mind because Blake Griffin has – what's Blake Griffin most known for? Dunking over a fucking Kia or on Pau Gasol disrespectfully. This dude has not dunked the basketball in like 2 full calendar fucking years. Okay. I have never seen a drop off in a player in athleticism as much as I have in Blake Griffin. It's that last knee injury, that left knee injury that happened last season. Well, it didn't happen last season. It was operated on 2 times last season, the left knee. He was averaging like almost 25 points a game the season before, 2 seasons ago. Now he's averaging like 12. But what he's good for now is a shooter. He's a shooter, 3-point shooter. They say the favorite are the Nets, and I'm not completely mad at that. But Golden State, get on it. It's not going to require the type of money that Blake Griffin of old would require. I think that's the fucking play, man.
The addition to Golden State would just make them back to being invincible potentially.
Well, Gary, they need to get back in the playoffs. I mean, at this point, that's the goal, because now they're kind of
but what I'm saying is that could be the golden ticket.
It could be.
It could be. Let's see how his athleticism holds up. I mean, that trend isn't going in the right direction right now. So a team shift may not fix that. Who knows? So Gary, where do you think he's going to go?
I think he ends up with the Nets. Like Andy, I think he does, but I don't think that's the best place for him. I don't agree with Andy that Golden State is like. I think that the logic behind that statement is correct, right? Under Steve Kerr, with the way they play offense, I think it suits his current skill set to where he could probably be a 18-point scorer and contribute, and Eric Pascal could be relegated where he belongs on the bench, and Kelly Oubre could stop shooting fucking 12% from 3. He might still shoot 12% from 3, but he'd stop jacking so many of them at least. But
no, he would not.
Maybe not. But I would like to see him go to Phoenix, honestly. I think that the relationship with Chris Paul that he had in LA could be rekindled. I think that he fits there as a 4th option, like a 4th option in that offense. I think he's a solid guy for that. I think a good rotation with Bridges is a good option there. I would like to see him in Phoenix where he and Chris Paul can get back together. I think he fits the play style there in Phoenix too.
I rescind my statement. I want him in Phoenix now. I thought of that.
Yeah.
I emailed Gary. I emailed Gary earlier.
Yeah. I thought you forgot.
That's a good one.
No, I think it's a good fit. And it's a contender, right? Like if he goes to Golden State, he's not going to a contender, right? And maybe he's a piece that kind of puts them back in contention. But I think if he wants to ensure that he's going to a contender and a fit, I think Phoenix. I'd like to see him in Phoenix, and I think it would be a good decision for him.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Across the board. Yeah, I got nothing on that.
I did something good.
You did. Yeah. You did well, my friend.
Proud of you, bud. Okay, so we covered the Blake-ness. Didn't the Clippers make it great?
Kelvin's right. I mean, they dished him about at the right time. They didn't get a ton in return. Like, they didn't necessarily capitalize on the return, but, like, he didn't hinder that roster.
Well, and the Clippers are interested in him, too, which is so fucking interesting to me because that makes no sense.
I don't see him as a fit there. The way they play.
No, but they want him. Like, I don't understand it.
Maybe he and fucking Kawhi smack asses in the club together or something.
Bro, I've never seen a player so good just fall the fuck. I mean, oh my God.
I could see him considering the Lakers. I think the Lakers could use him in a certain role. I don't know that he replaces Kuzma.
I don't like it. I mean, and the Lakers are one of the teams that are on the board, obviously. Yeah. They're going to be on the board with every big free agent right now as far as
because LeBron's there, right? Every free agent wants to play
right.
LeBron.
And if we've learned anything from, recent big name players in whatever sport going, place to place. It's not always the ones we hear about. So I do like the Phoenix thing, really. I really do, Gary.
Because we're going to talk about that later, too.
Right. And I didn't want to blow it up too much. Nobody's talking about Phoenix, though. I haven't heard a word about Phoenix. I've heard, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nets. I've heard, who are the other ones? The Bucks have had some traction. Yeah. Golden State is in there. And actually, I fell in love with the Golden State thing just because I think when you have Blake and Draymond Green, who can kind of interchange roles, you're not playing really a center. Yeah. They can both shoot. They can both facilitate. Well, Draymond can shoot this week or next week, just not the following. It's every other with him. But, it's one of those things.
He's got split custody with made baskets.
He does have split.
He's
not even there every weekend.
Fucking split custody of buckets.
Look, I said, I think your logic behind the Golden State, potential landing spot is
right.
It makes sense, right? But
right,
I'd love to see him reunite with Chris Paul and be a fourth option on that team.
Fuck you, Andy.
But imagine your fourth option being a guy that can shoot and he's a former superstar. He's not what he used to be, but if Blake Griffin's your fourth option on offense, you're doing okay.
Right. And you know what the worst
and
part
you're already
is?
The 2 seed.
The worst part is he's going to fucking Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Because to him,
he's going to be the fourth option there.
That's the easiest route, right? I mean,
yeah, but I question I question where the Nets can go in a 7-game series.
Me too, but
even with Blake Griffin, you add him to the fold. I still wonder I don't know that they have the mental grit to survive a 7-game series. I just
here's the thing though. When Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant,
when Kyrie's your most vocal leader,
but when those three are already texting you, or however the fuck these guys speak these days, the Instagram or what
they're on Clubhouse.
That's alluring.
They're meeting up on Grindr.
Are they not talking on Vine anymore?
They're meeting up on Grindr.
No. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
But, when those three guys.
Grindr, why?
I mean, fuck, dude. You get Kevin Durant messaging you, hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Come play with me, Harden, and Kyrie. And they have DeAndre Jordan, who obviously is Blake's boy, I assume. Played years together. That's, and the East is, hey, listen. We have to go through 2 teams, as where if you go join the Lakers or the Clippers or the Suns or whoever in the West, you might have to go through 4 or 5 teams. So, I get it. But yeah, Phoenix, we're Team Phoenix. I'm gonna put a sign in my front yard that says Blake Griffin to the Suns.
Excellent.
And no
Brett's over here just trying to get on the show.
Here you go, Brett. Attention.
Iguodala or Gortat?
What the fuck, dude? Brett, go to bed, dude.
Yeah, dude. Go to fucking bed. All right, so I guess before we transition out, we have.
There's no E in Grindr, by the way.
Why do you know that?
Because I have to know social media for my job.
No, come on, get the fuck out of here. I got to know for my job.
Getting dates.
Yeah, getting something.
Yeah.
Getting.
We should mate.
AIDS.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so offensive.
Yeah, you're right. You know what? I saw the hat on Gary's head, and I thought, fuck it. I thought this was, we could just let our hair down.
This is that show.
I thought we could just let our hair down.
I was watching Straight Outta Compton
show
the other night for the 5th time when I was going to sleep, and heartbreaking, but also not PC and a little hilarious at the same time. When the doctors come in, and this may or may not have really happened in real life, when they tell Eazy-E he has AIDS, he's like, I'm not gay. like straight away.
Yeah.
Fucked up.
I remember that shit.
I'm not
Yo,
gay.
Chappelle's show.
No.
Man, did it fucking toe and cross a lot of lines.
I can't
That
believe they're
show was
still
amazing.
playing.
I don't
that
even
shit.
feel like he towed though. I felt like he just like
No.
brought
He
a
owned it.
bulldozer in and just
There
fucking
was no line.
wrecked shop, dude.
That shit's still on TV. It was just playing on like cable yesterday. How the fuck is that still being aired?
I know,
I'm glad,
that's crazy.
but in this climate, like,
Yeah.
Could you imagine if that show was like just starting out with the cancel culture these days?
bro, he was afraid every week he was going to get canceled when the show was live, if you remember, and that was like 2003.
That was back before people got canceled.
Right. So, but he
Well,
felt
that
like
was back
he
when
was, he
South
was like
Park
episode
did get
2,
canceled,
right?
and then
He was-
got brought back.
he was
And
like 2 or
Family
3
Guy got
episodes
canceled
in.
and got brought back.
If
Yeah.
you go back to the first season, Chappelle, after like 2 or 3 episodes, is like, I'm surprised we're still on the air.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. I mean, fuck, no, dude, it wouldn't. I don't even
It
think
wouldn't fly.
the pilot would.
You know what's crazy is I remember looking through there and realizing that, like, wow, in my mind, with all of the skits that I remember, I was like, God, there's got to be like 20 seasons of Chappelle Show.
3.
2 or 3.
3. It's 3.
And the third one was hella short.
Only a
Legendary.
handful of episodes, right? 4 or 5.
God.
Yeah.
Yo,
Amazing
And
show.
as many commercial breaks as they had, that's like an 18 fucking minute per episode show.
Right.
But just
And you fucking watched every
Primo
time.
content.
just too good.
You stuck around.
Look at dude,
Look at this guy.
no, everybody sees you. Man.
You're not being sneaky, bub. He's still trying.
He is.
That's
Oh,
amazing.
he is his mother's
Oh
son.
shit.
All right. Christ.
So
Chappelle Show,
let's just
masterpiece.
absolutely. So
We ready to
let's-
roll?
yeah, we're ready.
Holy fuck, dude.
That's
that was
aggressive. Fuck.
Every time.
Every time.
Every time. that's
Never
correct.
gets never get used to that. So while we're talking about basketball, let's talk about Utah. The fucking Utahns, dude.
The Utahns.
Utahns.
The
Is Utah, Cap or facts, Utah is the most disrespected team in the NBA in terms of officiating. Oh, dude, I want one of you. One of you. Look, I'm gonna leave it up.
I'll go first, and I'm gonna add the qualifier to it, right? And I think that it goes probably without saying that, like, unless you're a team that's contending potentially for a conference title or an NBA championship, right? Like, you don't have a claim to this, because I've been a fan of a team that's been officiated very, very poorly, but we're never a contender, and that's just how things go when you're a dog shit team. I think Utah is. I used to think that it was like I used to think that Golden State was really poorly officiated at the time when they were at their peak as well. I just think that their style of play doesn't fit what the NBA is looking for right now, right? They play a lot of inside. They play tough, hard-nosed defense. And I think that leads to a lot of what the NBA doesn't want these days. The NBA wants spread it out, fast-paced, high-efficiency basketball, and that's not what Utah plays, right? And I think that lends itself to this being facts, because the NBA just officiates the game in a specific way, and it doesn't fit Utah's style. I don't know that it's like Utah specifically. I think it's their play style, and we see that play out on a national stage because they are the number 1 seed in the West right now, and they're on TV all the time.
So an unintentional bias as a result of,
I think it's very intentional, but not intentional because they're Utah, if that makes sense.
So you're still saying that it's intentional that the underperforming team gets punished as for entertainment value.
Not underperforming. I think it is intentional because
The
the
lower
NBA wants
energy?
maybe lower energy or lower excitement. But I think the NBA wants a specific style. Yeah, probably. But they want a specific style, and Utah doesn't play that style.
Right.
So that's where it plays out. Not because they're Utah, but because of the way they play.
That's not quite a tinfoil hat theory, but I definitely do agree. All right, Andy, thoughts?
I think it's facts, and I think it's facts for a different reason. I think it's facts because if you look at the roster as a whole, they have
nobody.
The less star power. Again, Mitchell. We loved Mitchell before. I started the Mitchell love. I just look at the top teams in each conference, the teams we called contenders tonight. Look at those teams, and I think the Jazz rank dead last of all, although I called the Jazz pretenders. Even with the contenders and the pretenders, I think the Jazz rank dead last when it comes to star power. Also, their fans are trash, so fuck them.
Fuck them. No better words have been spoken.
Pop copy.
What do you think? That's probably close to ground truth, right? Stars get favorable officiating, and they don't necessarily have somebody who moves the needle. Donovan Mitchell is.
Mitchell.
Known. I don't think Donovan Mitchell's a guy though that like the average NBA fan is going to see on the street and go, "Oh my God, that's Spider," right?
No, they'd all walk by him.
Yeah, right. So I think that's probably closer to ground truth.
And their second best player is Rudy Gobert, who's not offensive minded enough to get a call.
Precisely.
So who's getting calls? Joe Ingles?
Yeah.
Listen, if I was a ref and I saw him getting fucking flat hacked, I'd swallow my whistle.
So then basically we all
he's the best player on your local Y ball team.
Boom.
Yeah, why like 40 and up? This dude lied on his birth certificate.
Fucking old man buckets over here.
You know, Ersan Ilyasova part 2.
So we're Utah cap. I'm gonna say facts as well. It's got to be, man. So I think what has to change is it ever going to be a situation where the referees or the officiating style will change to accommodate their style of offense, or are they just going to be expected to kind of like go with the flow?
They have to go with it.
Right. Exactly. You can't go against the grain whenever all the rest of the teams are operating at this caliber. Like if you're
Mitchell has to force his point. You know, in the playoffs, he's going to have to push the needle and just demand that he be officiated like a superstar is officiated. And there's really no other way to do it.
Right. Okay. So let's try to stay on basketball while we have another one and going into March Madness. So cap or facts, March Madness will not be as exciting without fans in the building. So cap or facts? Let's go. I guess we'll go in the same order. Gary, go to you.
I'm going facts on this one. I think part of my excitement watching the games is when the fans are cheering for the underdog. I think it makes part of the game more exciting. I also think I think it evens the playing field a bit. I went to a couple of games up in Providence when they had the first round one year, and it was incredible. Miami was playing and now I forget who they were playing. They were playing an underdog, and they ended up losing, so it didn't really, it wasn't a super memorable upset, but the game was tight. It was Buffalo, actually, now that I remember. It was Buffalo against Miami, and I had gotten on board because it's fucking Buffalo, but like they were the underdog and the fans were going nuts, and it was just this crazy atmosphere in that building at the time. Everybody's rooting for Buffalo. Everybody's, dogging Miami and shit. And like, that's the sort of thing that I love about March Madness is how quickly the fans, if you're there because you're watching one team, especially in those first round arenas, there's like 7 other teams that aren't your favorite team. So a lot of times you'll see fans get on board with like underdogs. You just love seeing upsets. So I think this is facts. I think March Madness is still going to be exciting, but I think that the fan factor takes a lot away from it.
I think that's a fair assessment. Andy, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime, especially with a college sport, if you take the fans out, it's definitely going to, ramp down on the excitement. I think we'll still have a good tournament, and we'll have a tournament, which is a plus given last year's circumstances. But yeah, I mean, anytime, I think with the UFC, there's been this kind of win lose where there's no fans, but we could hear stuff. We could hear things we never heard before. Yeah,
commentators
in
the
even things
octagon.
in the octagon. It made it so much.
Yep.
So much better in a sense. But with college basketball, it's just the painted fucking weirdos and all these guys. We're not gonna have that. Everything that is college, in the essence, is going to be gone. So I'm facts on this too.
It's facts, but I think it's just the best way to explain it is similar to how you just explained it. Like a UFC fighter without a crowd is still a UFC fighter. College fighter or college basketball players at the end of the day are still college, but they're not professional. So it's like, like when you're watching NBA basketball all day and then versus watching college ball, it's going to be different. The dynamic is different, but yeah, I mean, without having that crowd there, it's completely different. And I do like the ability to hear. I think that's probably my favorite thing about the UFC now is just that you can hear the corners talking to each other. Yeah. I don't like that the commentators get in the way. I don't like that. Like when DC starts talking and somebody acknowledges, like
coaching from the fucking from the microphone.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's the part where it's like, shut the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I agree. So that's facts across the board there. There we go. So let's switch into football now. And recent news, JJ Watt is signing to the Cards, joining his once teammate once again, DeAndre Hopkins. So Capper Facts, JJ Watt cares about contending for a title. I'm sure he's said it on record. I haven't seen it personally, but I'm sure it exists that he's going for a record. And so with that being said, I'm sure Larry Fitzgerald, of all people, have questions as to why the fuck he's going to Arizona with hopes for a title. Is it Kyler Murray? Is it D-Hop? Is it... I'm out of options. So, Gary, go back to you. Cap or facts?
This is 100% cap. Like you don't finish the season talking about how Houston, wasted a year of Deshaun Watson's career and then go to fucking Arizona, who's 8-8 and barely contended in a handful of games, and their quarterback regressed pretty drastically at the end of the season. And you're in a tough division for one, and two, like Arizona's light years away from a Super Bowl. And I heard a rumor or read a couple of people who were like, well, maybe this means that Arizona's going to trade Kyler Murray and a couple of first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, and they'll get the band back together. And maybe that changes things for that team in a sense, but like that's not a Super Bowl contender. He wanted to experience free agency, much like LeBron did when he left Cleveland, right? He wanted to experience free agency, and he chased the fucking money. It's clear that he chased the money, because if he was chasing a title, he's a Green Bay Packer, he's a Tampa Bay Buccaneer, he's there was a couple other teams. Buffalo, right? Buffalo was in the mix, and he's playing for one of those teams if he really cared about contending for a fucking title. I don't buy it.
Strong words from Mr. Gary Freed.
It's disappointing too, because like JJ feels like a genuine good old boy too, and he's just out chasing dollars.
Fair enough. Andy?
It's cap. I mean, why can't a good old boy chase dollars, right? I mean,
look, That's fine, but the way he left Houston, right? The way he left Houston.
Look, he's not mad. He's just disappointed.
Yeah, right.
Right. You
full
feel,
dad mode.
You feel that you had a sense on how Watt felt,
but he made it clear that that's how he felt, though.
Well, he made it. I think. In a not so roundabout way, he made it clear that he didn't want to be in fucking Houston anymore.
that might be true.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think there's ways of saying this is what I want, and there's ways of saying this is what I want because of this,
or like this is what I don't want, right?
Right, and I think a lot of Watt's thing is I want to win because I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And now that I'm not here, $15 million a season. Ooh.
Yeah.
Because he's not worth $15 million a season at this point. I love JJ Watt. JJ Watt's a great player. However, all of these teams, who really wanted him, Green Bay, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, teams like that, where their fans were going nuts. How do you justify that in a guy who rarely plays the full season, has taken a significant dip in production? At the end of the day, it probably feels really good to have JJ Watt on the roster on paper.
Yeah. Probably the same way the Wizards felt about having Michael Jordan on the roster.
Listen, here's my thing. Bills, and we're always going to go to this. I'm glad Stove's not here because he'd be like cursing me. Bills fans swore to fucking God up and down 2 years ago, JJ Watt was a non-factor in that playoff game, which I disagreed with.
Yeah.
His box score effect wasn't crazy, but he was chasing Josh Allen all over
the
fucking field. Every play. They all wanted him. They would have all given him the fucking,
wanted him.
Oh, dude, they would all the Korean rub and tug, the special finish, backroom shit. The extra $20.
The happy ending in Lackawanna.
All day they wanted him. Even though.
Here's something that might surprise you because it surprised me, though, right? Like, we expect a certain level of J.J. Watt, right? And it's probably like the Aaron Donald level because that's what J.J. Watt once was, right? He and Aaron Donald, the trajectory that Donald's on right now is about what we saw from Watt for about 8 years, 7 years, something like that. He was 4th in the league last year in pass rush wins, which is it's an analytical stat, but I couldn't believe when I read that stat that he was 4th in the league in pass rush wins. It kind of blew my mind because when I watch games, I saw a couple of Texans games last year, and J.J. Watt, to me, didn't seem like a huge factor. But to see that he had been that successful in pass rush, maybe the guy's worth a little something. I don't know that he's worth $15 million though. Like, and no contender's got that kind of cap space to spend on a guy who's clearly over the hill. Like you said, he hasn't played a full season in a long time. I think he played 15 games last year, but I don't know.
That's also going to be the rest of his career too. He's going to be battling injuries every single fucking year. And it just is what it is.
It's a style of play, too.
I think it's cap, but I also I don't know. I want to believe that there's just like some wild chance of that Deshaun Watson theory because I love that so much. I love that so much. That would be fucking great.
I'd love to see Deshaun and DeAndre back together. That'd be awesome.
For sure. I mean, yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Okay. Did we have any more cap or facts we wanted to cover?
We do not. I think it's a good time to transition to the most important part of the show. Most important part of the show. 75 episodes straight, ladies and gentlemen. We have dedicated to fallen service members, and this episode is going to be dedicated to Army Staff Sergeant Timothy Manchester, who passed away January 20th of this year, serving during Operation Spartan Shield. He was 34 years old from Austin, Texas, and he passed away in an incident happened in Camp
Arifjan, Kuwait. He was assigned to Headquarters and Headquarters Battalion, 36th Infantry Division, Camp Mabry, Texas. Let's see. His awards included the Joint Service Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, National Defense Service Medal, Iraq Campaign Medal with 2 campaign stars, Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal. That's a really long description. Army Staff Sergeant Timothy Manchester. We have the watch, brother. Rest in peace. You never know what you're going to get out of those descriptions. Sometimes it's like the really long battalion name, and then other times it's just like, hey, this guy liked to play Xbox.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Okay, well, whenever
I think
Andy
you have to take a piss.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna have to cycle through in a minute.
Oh, children. Well, we're at the most important part of the show, after the most important part of the show, and that's the fucking UFC fight card breakdown. This shit is going to be so good. UFC 259 action, all the titles on the line, all of them, most of them, a shit ton of them. I cannot wait to talk about Style Bender. Oh, look, it's Stove.
Dude, what is that? That's the fucking weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Kelvin says, ever do a quick NASCAR seg, would love to join.
Nah, fuck you, Calvin.
Damn.
No, I'm just kidding. Gary would probably actually be down for that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, Calvin does know his around the track cars. Zoom, zoom. I don't believe in that.
You just believe in like turning right and shit?
Yeah, like a bunch of times. Like I think it's unnatural.
That's fair.
It is. It's not a sport.
Well, I think like unnatural. Well, hold on. To say it's not a sport, what do you think is a sport?
I'm just being an asshole, man. Like
I was gonna say, I feel like sports initially, I used to think sports are things that require offense and defense. Like there's a tactic and a strategy to it and competition. But like really, there's not really any kind of defense in golf.
No. Well, you know, there
Not
is
really.
The course is defense,
No, but it's like as far as like
same, which would be the same defense for racing in a sense. I mean,
no, because like you can use like drafting and all kinds of shit to be able to like use as defense. You know what I mean? You can stay in front of that car so that they can't get around you. Whereas like in golf, you can't do shit. You
listen. I mean, even with golf, I consider golf more of a game or activity than a sport. Even still,
yeah.
I digress.
Don't be disrespectful because Tiger.
The comment was just me being an asshole. Anyways, so where did you say what is the lake you live on? Did you say Lake Travis?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm watching the fuck was I watching last night? I was real tired. And I was watching some fucking
Is that related? Like, your tired level? Oh, okay.
Well, because I wasn't really paying attention to what was actually playing on the television.
Gotcha.
I'm usually watching, it's like some game warden show from like New Hampshire.
Lone Star Law?
Last night it was Lone Star Law. That's what it was, dude. So they're on Lake Travis, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what the fuck Lake Travis is. No fucking idea, right?
Right.
Except for I'm half asleep and I kind of sit up and I'm like, I think Raul lives there.
I do.
And so Jen goes, you're talking. I think she thought I was sleeping. And I was like, what? She goes, you're talking in your sleep. And I was like, I'm not sleeping. I was like, I think Raul lives there. And she goes, well, good for Raul.
She ain't wrong though. It is good.
Listen, I think she thought I was fucking bullshitting. I think she thought I was sleeping, and I woke up and just said some shit.
And then you like,
because I dream about you, Raul. Apparently, but no. So
yeah, you do.
It's a pretty big fucking lake.
It's I mean,
it looks pretty big. Well, what they were doing was they were being narcs. They were giving fucking party goers a hard time.
Yeah,
you got a fucking life jacket. Fuck off, dude. I'm an adult.
Yeah,
I thought Texas was all about being like free and shit.
Yeah, you know what though? I've never seen them out there.
Well, they were out there last night. I watched it.
Yeah,
they gave mad tickets.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Texas is going to be open on the 10th, so never mind. Just kidding.
Right, I see that. We're
going to be back at it again.
Congratulations.
I mean,
until you die.
I'm not. I don't think I'm really going to change. I'm still going to like enjoy not really being out around people and just kind of do my own thing.
I mean, as long as you guys don't get like 4 inches of snow, you'll be good.
Oh, dude, I don't know what the
fucking sub-zero temps.
Oh God.
How is it now? What's going on?
The high was 80. Yeah.
Today?
Has the infrastructure recovered?
Oh, I mean, dude, it went from whenever
he casually says the high was 80.
I was gonna send you guys a picture. So I have a video of what it was like whenever it was like right at 0 or just below 0. And 2 days later I drove that same area, and my thermometer on my truck said 85.
What the fuck?
Yeah, dude. Yeah,
this is so where fucking bipolar.
Oh, it's the worst, man. I come to work every morning with a jacket, and by like 9 a.m. I have to take it off because I'm gonna start sweating. It'll be 30 in the morning, 35, and then by 10 a.m. it's like 70.
I go to work, it's like 8.
Got a nice aunt. Right from the start.
What the fuck was that?
Mm-hmm.
I had bullshit playing in the background.
Oh.
Cut that the fuck out. There's a new button, sir.
Yeah,
no, I go to work, it's like 8, and then I get out and it's like 38, and I'm like, oh fuck, heat wave.
Heat wave.
Warm as a bitch.
I'm gonna be cooking eggs on my hood soon. And it's funny because in Texas you can actually do that. Okay, so right, I want to get into it. Let's fucking get it, dude. All right, so UFC 259, sorry, 259. I really just kind of want to talk who's your guy or girl, title fights. Let's start at the bantamweight title where Piotr, is that how you say his name? Piotr? I don't know. Piotr Yan versus Aljamain Sterling. So that lineup right there. Is Jan going to keep his shit? I say yes. I don't see him losing. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry. My bad. I was trying to switch screens. Gary, let's just keep the same rotation. Let's go to you.
This title's changing hands. I've got Sterling. I've got him taking him down and beating the dog shit out of him on the ground. I think if Jan can keep it on their feet, like Sterling can't stay with him, but I don't think Jan can keep it on their feet. I think Sterling's going to get to him. I think he's going to get him down. He's going to ground and pound, and it's going to be a bloodbath. Probably, I'm probably going to call my shot and say early second, and I've got Sterling. His takedown game is so strong, and his ground game is pretty fucking great. I think he's going to get him to the ground and rough him up.
Damn. Okay. All right, Andy, thoughts?
I'm going Sterling too. This fight is a negative $110 both ways.
Yeah.
That's
coin flip, man. You can't get a coin flip in that.
It's weird. That doesn't happen.
But to be that confident that it's gonna be fucking, he's gonna get his bottom blown out round 2. That's aggressive as fuck.
I think Jan either stops him with his fists or Sterling stops him on the ground. That if I was going Jan, I was gonna.
So you're saying it's not even gonna go to decision?
No, I think this thing ends in a stop.
My thing is this. My thing is Sterling can wrestle his ass off, right? And Jan can strike. But he has like a 5-inch reach deficit, and that it just doesn't sit well with me, being that Sterling's an athlete too. Yeah. So he's a guy that wants to wrestle, but he's agile. So I just, it's no respect to Peter Yan, but I flipped my coin and I came Sterling,
Okay. The coin's been flipped. Jan's gonna keep the belt, dude. I'm confident that he's gonna keep that belt. But yeah, dude, minus 110 both ways. I've never seen that.
That's the Vegas juice coin flip. That's literally the coin flip. Like Vegas they're just cutting juice either side.
Wow.
It doesn't get in Vegas. It doesn't get closer than the minus 110. I've seen some that are like 104, 116, that sort of thing. But like legit, it doesn't get any closer when it comes to Vegas 50-50. They're so split on it. And I know that Vegas is kind of, dictated by where the money is, right? Like where they're going to make their money. But I think that legitimately this fight is that fucking nip tuck that Vegas had to set the line. And the fact that it hasn't changed is really telling.
Stayed
like
strong the whole time.
Sharp's money and the fucking big fish haven't changed it. Like this fight is fucking nip tuck.
Minus 10 both ways. Yeah. I'd never seen it.
So
women's featherweight title bout. The young man Amanda Nunes taking on Megan Anderson. Okay.
Yeah, you said it. Who?
Okay. Let's just go around. Who are you going to pick, Gary, so we can act surprised?
It's not going to be close. Like it's 11-1 for a reason.
Yeah.
Or 1-11, whichever way you want to put that.
Yeah.
It's that way for a reason. It's of course in the UFC, right? Puncher's chance, but I feel like puncher's chance is less of a thing in the women's division. And I know I'm going to get fucking chastised for fucking being politically incorrect on that, but like you don't have the same puncher's chance in that side of the house as you do on the men's side. You see it more often on the men's side. Women's side, it feels like when Rousey was dominating, her opponents didn't have a chance. And then we've got Nunes now, and her opponents don't have a chance.
Holly Holm pushed her shit in.
Right. And you do, eventually somebody's going to come along that's going to be able to beat Nunes, but
is that person making it? It's not. It's not making
now. Like Nunes could beat up a bunch of the dudes, honestly. Like I believe that in her weight class, there are dudes that I think she could beat legitimately that are professional fighters, not like fucking Joe down at the bar who likes to talk shit about women, right? Like legitimate fighters. Nunes is
he hates women's.
Yeah, right.
Why has he got to be Joe?
Mike, Tom, whatever his fucking
Andy.
name is.
I feel like he's Harold.
Harold at the fucking bar. Harold down at the VFW is fucking talking shit about women, right? Like, I believe that Nunes could legit rock a few of the dudes that are professional fucking fighters. She's so dominant. This is dominance that we they
have the same testosterone levels, I'm sure.
Even looking, probably. Even looking at what Rousey did, though, right? Like, Nunes is dominant in such a drastically different way. She fucking cleans bitches. Rousey didn't do that. Rousey would get you down armbar and it was over, right? She was a jiu-jitsu specialist and could get you in compromising positions. Nunes will fucking crush you
punch
with her
through
fucking
your
hands,
fucking face,
with her feet, with her knees, with her elbows. Like she's destructive.
Well, Rousey also championed this entire thing.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah,
so when Rousey was killing bitches, sorry ladies, point two.
I started it. You can blame me.
So when Rousey was dominating women's MMA or whatever that is, there were not that many good fighters. Now
there's still
well, no, because Nunes will whip all three of our asses at the same time.
I'm not saying she's not good. I'm just saying she might be the only good.
But here's what happened though. The women's dude, Misha Tate.
Okay,
come on, bro.
But Nunes beat her, so bring me another champion.
Right, but I'm saying Misha Tate. I've seen disgruntled fucking Target chicks who can whip her up. Right, disgruntled Target Karens that can whip her ass. And Ronda Rousey had her fucking way with her. So now we go to Holly Holm, who devastates Rousey because Rousey can't stand with her.
She hit her with her dick.
Dude, she is a guy. And then look at what Nunes did to fucking dude.
Embarrassed.
Kicked her fucking head off her shoulders. I was watching that shit earlier on repeat.
All over my computer.
Just like, just head kicking her. That shit is devastating.
She had no answer for the shit.
Well, and she's a boxer.
Yeah.
She was like the boxer as far as women's MMA was concerned. And Nunes is just a different fucking person. She retains the title. That's why she's negative 1,000 something.
Yeah, minus 1250.
Oh, it's up to 1250 now. So
minus
people are actually so sure of it that they're betting $1 or $11 to win one.
Yeah. Which is, listen, if you're that person, shoot your fucking self.
Yeah, in the neck.
And I guess if it's sure money, but Jesus.
Listen, if you're ever in a position where you're betting more money than you're winning, you're a dope. You're a dope.
You only bet underdogs?
Dude, if you're betting $5 to win $3, you're a fucking idiot. As plain as can be. If you can't see it that way, I'm sorry. But Tropic Thunder, Robert Downey Jr., he has a phrase for you.
Yeah.
You never go there.
Never.
Yeah. And you never go full.
No, yeah.
Never full.
Never full.
Yeah, don't go full R on the show, please.
So we now have full R and hard R.
Kind of guy, you know.
Full R and hard R. Jeez.
So, to the main event, one that may actually have a little bit tighter line, aside from minus 14,000. Fucking style bender Israel Adesanya versus Jan Blachowicz. I don't know how to say that in the native tongue.
Blachowicz.
Yeah. Anyways.
I know because I'm from there.
There you go, dude.
Are you Irish or fucking Czech?
I'm Czech. Dude, don't say
Or
Czech.
Polish. He's Polish. Just whatever.
It's so
He's Irish, dude.
He's Irish.
He's fucking Irish.
That's so fucked up.
Okay, so Gary, who's gonna win this bitch? I'm proud of you. You made it to the last segment before you started waffling. I love it.
No, because I originally picked 2 titles to change hands, right? And in order for that to happen, Megan Anderson's either going to have to be impossible Or I've got to stick with my Adesanya pick. And what I've seen from Adesanya over the last 2 weeks really makes me regret picking him about fucking 3.5 weeks ago, right? When we talked about this originally. He weighed in with a fucking pizza and shit. Like, that's not good, bro. Like, I understand that you didn't have to cut weight and whatnot, but like, you don't fight at 200. You
fights
don't.
at $185.
Right, he weighs in at $185, and he probably fights at 190, 191, 192, right? When he gets water back in him and all that.
Right, he's fighting a guy that fights at 225.
He's fighting a guy who weighs in at 205 and fights at fucking, 215, 220, 225, right? So, to me, what I would have liked to seen from Adesanya at weigh-in day was to be maybe 195, right? I don't want to see you at 200, 202 looking fucking like water weight. So I'm gonna go against what I said 3.5 weeks ago, and I give me Jan Blachowicz. I just think that the way Stylebender has approached this fight, I don't think he can do it. And then for him to talk about wanting to go up to heavyweight, give me Jan because he's comfortable where he's at with his weight, and he's the bigger guy. He's the stronger guy. And I don't think Adesanya is ready to carry that weight into a fight. I don't. Uh-oh. I think we lost Andy. Fuck.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him for leaving.
There he is.
You kicked me out, dickhead.
I didn't do a fucking thing.
Why'd you do that?
You know why.
You know what you did.
You know what you did. So
I like that I'm on the fucking bottom now. Fuck you guys.
Yeah, dude. Bottom bitch over here. So
now
I'm the bottom bitch. Fuck. All right. Andy.
Well,
is Gary so why is Gary wrong?
Well, because
I think
he's
is the better.
wrong. I mean, he's just because here's the thing.
Yeah.
As much as I respect Blachowicz, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. He's just if this were another premier fighter at the light heavyweight division, somebody of days past, I could see it. I don't see it for him. Not
if
against
this were
Israel.
Bones.
Maybe. Not just Bones. I mean, we're not
in GOAT
the Bones is the
territory.
most recent we're speaking of. There are a lot of light heavyweights who I would have been like, Adesanya's fucked.
Okay.
Approaching it like a joke. He's too good. And again, we're going to go back to what you just said with the last fight where you didn't like it when women could do it because you're a fucking misogynist. But a puncher's chance is a puncher's chance. And I think when you're dealing with, listen, when you're dealing with a guy like Jan Blachowicz, like he can punch your head off. However, Stylebender, 20 pounds overweight, looking a little like Homer Simpson. I just still think he's too good. He's too.
Do you think he's going to be able to do what he normally does at that weight, though?
Absolutely. Because here's the big thing. Usually I worry about a guy moving up because they're smaller overall. He's still got the reach. He's still got the height. He's a couple inches taller. He's a few inches longer in reach. Let me look. We're talking 6'4" to 6'2", 80 to 82.
Not a 205-pound frame.
Well, not to mention,
and I agree with that. But I'm saying usually when you move up, you give everything up. You're giving up the length.
Okay.
You're giving up the height.
Okay.
You're giving up the weight. He's giving up the weight. He's probably going to be 20 pounds outweighed.
Yeah,
for sure. Which gives up the power.
Okay.
But listen, how much power was he giving up last fight? A ton.
Yeah, but
Paulo Costa was a power fighter.
Costa didn't fight though.
Like, is this going to be that much different?
Yes.
Yeah.
You think?
Yes.
Yeah. No, Jan's definitely more aggressive.
Yes.
Then Paulo Costa?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
I take that back. He's just as aggressive.
Look,
Young.
Costa wasn't Costa in that fight.
He's also more calculated.
Well, why wasn't
than
he Costa?
Well, he says he was hurt. I mean, how much truth is there in that? But
I say it's because he fought Adesanya.
Maybe you might be right. I don't think Blachowicz treats Adesanya with that level of respect, though.
But it's hard to fight the guy, is what I'm saying. I'm not taking anything away from Blachowicz, and I don't take anything away from Costa either. I just think that Adesanya is a hard guy to fight. Same way Anderson Silva was a hard guy to fight.
Not to mention, he's 75 in octagon years.
They're tough to fight. That is because it doesn't matter whether you can go in with a game plan however you want it, but you're constantly in the back of your head, that side eye, you're looking for shit. Because it's unnatural.
He has a very unorthodox style. I harken back to something that like we saw from a guy that we thought was not necessarily the same style, but like the same guy as Adesanya is right now, right? Like untouchable, moving up weight classes. And then he fought Nate Diaz. And Nate Diaz like chewed on cinder blocks. And Conor hit him with everything he could. And the size and just that difference alone, right? Fighting against guys that punch with that sort of power on a regular basis is different for a guy that's moving up a weight class or two.
Right.
Right? Like, I just don't know that Jan is going to be as afraid of Adesanya as other guys in Adesanya's weight class, because I don't think Jan thinks that Adesanya can hurt him. And I don't think that I believe that Adesanya can hurt him.
I've never thought Conor McGregor was as good as Adesanya, though.
No. I'm not trying to say that, right? Like, Adesanya is a different breed. But what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that Jan believes, and I don't think that I believe that Adesanya can hurt Jan. And I think what that does is negate that unorthodox style. Because I don't think Jan comes into this fight worrying about where punches are coming from.
I think you're wrong about that, though, man.
The Polish have been wrong before.
Oh, for sure.
I think you're wrong about that, man. I feel like Stylebender can hurt him. It's like I'm not like no doubt, granite chin, there's no doubt. I mean, he's proven it time and time again, but I genuinely think Stylebender, like if we see prime Stylebender walk out there into that octagon, he's in fucking trouble, dude. Like it's not
like he's not prime Stylebender. He showed that at weigh-ins with the fucking Little Caesars in his hand.
Yeah, but
I bet you it wasn't a Little Caesars though.
Yeah.
Like that shit was probably gourmet.
Yeah.
Probably. Chicago style.
Or at least like one of the good chains, you know?
Well, here's the thing, like is that nobody
fucking out pizzas the Hut. You feel me?
Is that a page out of like the Anderson Silva or Conor McGregor playbook though, where like you just there's no such thing as psychological warfare?
I don't think that
we're talking a pole lock here. I mean, how many jokes?
Not to mention, too, like, Stylebender is known for showboating. He's known for getting cocky and talking some shit. Like, this is kind of right up his alley.
He's the kind of dude. Hey, we've all seen, right? We've all seen Avengers Endgame, right?
Nope.
No.
No, dude. Because I'm a fucking adult with daughters, so I don't watch a lot of superhero movies.
Spoilers ahead,
so
I guess.
While you were watching Frozen 2,
as well.
Yeah, I have a daughter as well. She left earlier and she watches we watch Avengers shit together because we don't watch like My Little Ponies. But anyways, so
there's nothing wrong with My Little Ponies.
Raul, just you can mute right now because we're gonna have an adult conversation.
I'm gonna go stand in the corner.
So Thor, right? Fat Thor was still a badass. Adesanya with the pizza is still
But here's my thing, right?
He's gonna whip ass.
Here's my thing.
Are we saying
Adesanya's never been a guy that's a one-punch knockout guy, though, right?
Are we liking Stylebender to James Harden?
Well, he wasn't trying to force his way out, but
forcing his way out of the UFC.
No, but like he's gonna appear fat to the world.
Suddenly,
and
he's gonna be fucking fit on fight day. He's gonna lose 25 pounds.
No, I don't think that's the case. I just think like he realizes he's a much better fighter, I think. And
I think that's a correct assessment, right? But I think the difference really is and I'm going to go to the fucking well on this. I don't think that the fact that Adesanya is going to be able to touch Jan scares Jan. I don't believe it. I believe that Adesanya in his career has been a volume knockout guy. He wins fights because you can't hit him and he hits you.
So you think Jan's just going to like absorb?
I think he's going to chew on it. I think he is.
Okay.
I do. That's
entirely possible.
Listen, that would be the
crux of why
angle,
I think Jan's going to win it.
That would be the angle that I can't be upset with because I think if there's
I just don't think that he scares
way to
him,
do it,
and I think that Jan's going to press the issue.
I think if Jan believes he can eat punches and counter one time, sure, absolutely.
I don't know that it's going to be that counter one time. I think
it kind of has to, though, right?
No, I don't think so.
You think he can do it overtime, like he can wear it down?
I think so. I think he's going to press the issue, stay inside, keep coming forward. I don't think Adesanya scares him with his punching power. I'm not scared for Jan about Adesanya's punching power. I'm worried about how many times he can touch.
What about his kick
without being touched? Maybe the kick, right? If he can get the leg kicks, that's gonna take Jan.
Like the head kick. What about the head kick?
Maybe.
That is proven to be a snooze
when you're
button.
pushing the issue to be inside, though. The kicks
Jan is not.
Kicks are a problem when you fight outside.
Here's the thing. So
I'm not worried about him being quick either. I'm worried about him being aggressive, coming forward, negating the head kick.
Where I'm at is we assess the fact and we agree on the fact that Adesanya gives up power, right? Because he's fighting up and he's fighting a guy who is an animal.
And he's used to fighting guys.
However, on the flip side of that, he's now fighting a slower opponent.
Yeah.
And his opponent is fighting a faster fighter, a quicker fighter, maybe one of the quickest, most surgical fighters,
honestly,
out there. So I feel like that, to me, that's the makeup. Like that's the give take.
I agree with you completely.
That's where we come together, and which is where I draw my opinion of Adesanya. Because again, it's nothing against Jan. I think he's a terrific fighter. I just think it's we get to the middle of where the power's here, the quickness, the speed is here, and we weigh those, and we come into the middle, and I'm just like, I think Adesanya is the better fighter.
I agree with you 100% about how we get to the middle, right? But I think we're going to see Blachowicz push the issue and negate some of that, like you mentioned, the head kicks, right? Head kicks are not a factor when you're in the pocket. Head kicks are a factor when you are standing at range, that sort of thing. I just think that Blachowicz is going to be aggressive. He's going to stay in the pocket. I don't think he's afraid of Adesanya's punching power. That's the way I think. If I'm Blachowicz's coach, that's what I'm telling him, right? Like, you've got to push the issue. You've got to not let him get at range and hit you dot you on the chin 100 times with the jab and then set up the head kick, right? Like, you can't let that happen. You've got to be the bigger man. You've got to be the more aggressive man. And I think that's going to be the difference in this fight, right? I agree with you completely how we get to the middle. I just disagree with which side of the fence we end up on. And I think that's where we differ.
I think we'll get to a point where if Blachowicz gets it, it's going to be by like a knockout. And it's going to be because exactly what you're talking about. He's going to stay inside. He's going to work the body. He's going to maybe try to squeeze in some knees to the left. I mean, he's going to start trying to chop him down. And he's just going to wait for that prime opportunity to just plant this absolute bomb. I think that Stylebender, just because of his length, adding the weight to it makes him, like, I'm not going to say more powerful, but I will definitely say that he's still going to be powerful enough to shake him up. But that speed and counter punching and that just the counters in general, defense is going to be a huge advantage for Stylebender because of, I mean, just the ability to just fucking take a punch, see it coming, and just move real quick. A lot of these bigger guys are not. They're much more used to just fucking taking the brunt of that force. That is a benefit for Blachowicz. But as far as Stylebender's concerned, he's going to have his work cut out for him. But Vegas is favoring him in the line. It's minus 230, plus 185 going to Blachowicz. So, I mean,
I can't argue with that either, though, right? Like,
yeah,
Stylebender's unblemished. I can't disagree with Vegas on that line.
Right.
It's a kind line, though. I mean,
for sure,
we're not talking anything crazy.
Right.
It's Israel Adesanya. I mean, to be 230 in the pocket.
Right. I can't
when he's normally going to be
find
like
any
4.
reason to disagree with Vegas's line on it. I couldn't argue against that line being the way it is,
right?
Because it's Izzy, right? Like,
right.
I understand what I'm picking against here, right? Like, it's not lost on me what I'm picking against. I just see that like, we're talking about two completely different fighters, and I just don't know that. I don't know that Izzy scares a guy like Blachowicz. I don't know that his punching power scares him. If Blachowicz fights the same fight Costa fought, there's no fucking chance. You can't fight Izzy at range. You've got to press the issue, be in the pocket. The one time Izzy got hurt and was in danger of being finished was in a similar fight, right? Where somebody was pressing. I forget who he fought, but they pressed the issue on him and got inside and landed a couple of shots. Now, Izzy, he definitely fucking, recovered and finished that fight, but I don't know that he can afford to get hurt against a guy like Blachowicz, against a light heavyweight, essentially, right? But we're talking about a champion. I think that we're gonna see some exposure potentially for the fact that Izzy, his game is predicated on being at range, and Blachowicz is predicated on pushing the issue, and I think that's going to play into Blachowicz' favor.
I think it's going to guarantee that there's going to be a clash of some type. And yeah, you're right. If he's taking any notes off of Stylebender's last fights, he's learning, close the gap, stay inside, work the body, get to his face.
We're going to get some serious action in that fight.
Yeah, it's going to be striking, and the Pollock hammer is going to be fucking going to work. But to answer your question an hour later, Brett, is he busy? You feel me? Is he busy? Okay. So we are an hour and 40 minutes in, so I think that's probably a healthy stopping point. That being said, my name's Raul Herrera. I was about to say Andy Freeze. I've got Gary Freeze with me. I got Andy Flint with me. Episode 75 of Backyard Blitz, brought to you by Backyard Sports in the Book. We appreciate you coming out and supporting the gang. Oh, man. Can't wait to see you guys next week. Hopefully all of our predictions were right. They're not going to be. Looking forward to talking shit about who was wrong.
Yay.
I'm sure I'll be on this island fucking defending myself here.
Let's hope so. Let's fucking hope so. Feel free to cue us out.